I've been working as an LPN in long-term care for almost 37 years now, and at the same facility. So I've seen a lot of changes just in my building alone. And as you can imagine, most of them have not been for the good. We have a lot of long-term staff in my building that have stuck it out through the years, but some of them are retiring. Others are getting just burnt out from the situation now. And I just know I'm not afraid to say my age. I'm going to be 62 in March. And I don't know how much longer, I'm going to be able to do this mentally too. Physically it's demanding, but mentally it's hard because you're there trying to take care of the residents like they need to be. So what's going to happen, when we leave, because there's other people leaving for that same reason, and we can't get caregivers into the building now. A while back, we hired 17 temporary nursing assistants, which are also called TNAs, where they come in and they learn on the job and then can go on to these CNAs, get their certification. But out of those, we only have one left. And I think most of them were gone within the first 6 months. They didn't even stay that long. So it's been a year that one's still there, but within 6 months, the rest of them were all gone. And, it's like, why would they stay? They come in and they see how hard, demanding physically and mentally the job is. And they can go to Walmart or McDonald's, and make just as much money and not have to put up with that. And we had a 7 to 3 nursing position open, which is usually your most sought after. Everybody wants a 7 to 3 job. That was open for over a year because nobody wanted to come in and do this kind of work. And as if the job itself isn't hard, then we have sales of the nursing homes where they come in and they want to cut your wages, they want to cut your benefits. My facility has been sold 4 or 5 times. And I consider us lucky because I know there's other nursing homes that have been sold a lot more than that. And when they come in, they, first they want to cut your wages, they want to cut your benefits. And some companies, our housekeepers and dietary workers, they feel like they're just a dime a dozen. They're the first ones that they usually try to cut because they figure they can get them in and off the street. But those are the ones that are cooking the meals for our residents, the nutritional meals to help them stay alive. The housekeepers, they're there to keep the rooms clean and germ-free so our residents don't get sick. And they've been pushed to the limit. This has been going on before, but then COVID's really made it hard for our housekeepers. And when our company took over our benefits, they cut like our dependents. They cut our spouses. We could no longer cover our spouses on our health insurance. And people could no longer cover their children. And the company told them, go out and sign your kids up for CHIP, programs like CHIP. And one of my coworkers who was a single mother, she says, I've worked hard to get my kids off a program like CHIPs. I want to be able to support my family and not have to rely on those government benefits. And she just felt like she was defeated because the company was telling her, go sign your kids up for CHIP, It's just things like that. And yet we're some of the lucky ones because we have a union. We can stand up and we can fight back. But we're the exception. The rule is that most of your nursing home workers are out there are just working at the will of their employers. They're told what to do, when to do it. And there's plenty of bad actors out there. I know you've seen, they just come in and they take over and, they don't even have enough money to buy supplies for the residents or the proper food that the residents need. So it's important that caregivers have a voice. And because we're not just fighting for ourselves, we're fighting for our residents. I told a resident's mother the other day that I was coming down to Harrisburg after work, and she says, "What are you going down there for?" And I said, "I'm going down to advocate for your mother. We need," and she cried because she says, "I'm so glad, that somebody's actually out there, because she's in and she sees what us running around trying to get things done, and it's just not, possible. And it's ultimately the residents who suffer, and that's why I'm here today, because they're near and dear to my heart. I've been doing it this long that I consider them, family, because a lot of them don't have the family, and that's why we're there taking care of them. to support them. And I know I have one little lady who different times, she says, oh, I'm just anxious today if I had somebody that could sit down and talk to me for just 10 minutes. And I would love to be that. She's a sweet lady, very nice. And I would love to sit down, but what happens with those 10 minutes that I take for her? Somebody doesn't get their medicine, they don't get, their bath, or maybe they don't get help to the bathroom in time. And people ring their bell and we get there as quick as we can, but they still sometimes urinate in their chair or in their bed because we can't get there fast enough. And we have Alzheimer's and dementia residents also. And they usually can't ring for themselves. So they're left there when they could need help sooner, but we just aren't able to check on them as often as we'd like to, because we don't have the time. And like I was saying too, nursing homes, it used to be you took care of grandma and grandpa when I started. So we had more time to spend back then with the residents. Now we get people in that have had surgeries in the hospital, they've been in car accidents. So we have wound cares and we have, more wound care, more IVs. They require longer because serious or complications could occur. I know we have some residents that have wound vacs on, which is a specialty treatment for wounds. It can take 45 minutes to an hour just to train that dressing, and that's with 2 nurses doing it. So that takes time that you don't have to spend. We have residents. We all know that our communities we're all getting larger, and they take 2 or 3 people to turn, and we just don't have the staff for that because there's fewer staff out there than there was before. So that's why, we need better staffing and we need better protection when nursing homes are sold. And we're asking that when the legislature does give us extra funding for nursing homes, that we need accountability, that money goes to the bedside for direct patient care. I know we were all excited in the fall when we got 247 million in the AARP. And thought, that's great, we got almost what we wanted, we'll settle for that. But even with our demands from the employer to put that at the bedside for staffing and stuff, very little of that went to the bedside. Where it went, we don't know because we can't check. I know we had landscaping work done in the front of the building. Sure, we make the outside of the building look nice, but what about the residents that are in the nursing home? They're the ones that deserve that money. That's why I said our residents, our residents' families, we need to know where the money is at so we can hold these facilities accountable. And that's the main thing there too. So, I'd like to thank all of you for coming out and listening to me today. It's been a while since I've done this, so I was a little nervous today, but, I just ask for all your support. To do the right thing for our nursing home residents and the nursing staff that's out there, not even the nursing staff, just the auxiliary staff in the nursing homes too, because it would mean a lot to the families and the residents out there. Thank you.